John here, and this is kind of a version of a fireside chat. We just sat by a fire. I don't have one here right now. We are in San Diego, here for the annual Comic-Con. You know, it was kind of a last-minute thing. We decided to come down, and fortunately, we had one of our viewers, Ramiro. Thank you so much. Ramiro hooked us up with some passes, and instead of getting a $700 a night hotel, we brought Colossus down, and now we're staying in an RV park just 7 minutes from the convention center, so that's pretty good. Anyway, I had somebody write in and ask me, John, you will often talk about the things you love about your job. Can you talk about some of the things you hate about your job? And I thought that would be interesting. Now, first of all, you have to understand, I might swipe around. I got some mosquitoes out here. You have to understand, I'm very aware that I'm a lucky guy, right? I get to do what I love for a living. For like 15 years, I've been able to turn my hobby, you know, my love of movies into the thing I earn a living with. So I'm very lucky about that. So when I talk about the things that I hate about my job, don't misinterpret that as me not being grateful to be able to do what I do and loving what I do. But there are a few things. So let me talk about a couple of them. The first one I'm going to mention, the first couple of them have to do with the fact that I do my show live. And doing live has some advantages, but oh my God, it can cause some headaches. And that brings us to the thing I hate, number one, which is technical issues. For those of you who remember the infamous incident with my headphones, you guys know I hate technical issues. Because when you pre-record stuff and things go wrong technically, no big deal. Nobody sees it, nobody knows about it. You just fix the problem, reset, and start again. But when you do your show live, the world sees it. And now your entire presentation is ruined, and the hours and hours and hours of work you put into it is now kind of gone out the window if it's a problem that you can't just fix instantly like that. So I feel humiliated in front of the world. It costs me views and money and sanity. So there's a price tag that comes along with technical difficulties, and sometimes there are things that are just way beyond your control. So yeah, technical difficulties as somebody who does live streaming, absolutely one of the things that I hate most. Second thing I'm going to mention is still connected to the fact that I do my shows live, and that is I freeze on things sometimes. Like, one of the great things about everybody else who just does their stuff pre-recorded, it never looks like they freeze on, oh, what was the name of the guy in that movie? Oh, what was the name of that movie again? Like, you never see that because it's pre-recorded. They edit around that. Understandably so. That's exactly what you should do. But when you're live, like, there's a lot of people who've always thought, man, John has a bad memory. I don't have a bad memory. It's just that I'm having to pull up like 500 different facts every single episode. We're talking about, you know, with questions, we're talking about 50 or 60 different topics. And a lot of times I'll go, like, even a movie I really know well or an actor I know well, and in front of the world, doing the show live, I got to go, what was the name of that thing again? What was the name of the thing again? And I understand it's a part of the job, but it does drive me crazy and it's embarrassing. So that's another thing that drives me crazy about the job. A third thing that drives me crazy about the job, and this isn't the job, this is more the people who watch the show, but is the people who think that my job is so easy that, you know, oh, what, you just, you know, at noon, you just sit in front of your camera, hit stream, and then after an hour, you work an hour a day, right? It's like, oh my God, like, we literally start our day 5 hours before the show starts. 7 a.m., I'm in front of the computer, we're pulling stories, we're checking facts, we start organizing what images do we want cutaways to, how are we going to set everything up, we fact check everything, we assemble graphics, like all that kind of stuff. And that's like an hours long process. So that by the time we say bye-bye at like 2 o'clock, we've been going for like 7 hours. And I understand, like, I used to work 12 or 13 hours a day, and I understand there are other people who work 12 or 13 hours a day. But I mean, it just does drive me crazy a lot when so many people have this perception that my job is like an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. And it's a hell of a lot more than that. The next thing that I hate about my job is probably the one that hurts the most. And it has to do with kind of being online, I guess, but I hate being wrong. And I'm not talking about wrong about projecting or guessing, you know, like, oh, I think this movie will make $50 million, or I think that movie's going to be good, or, stuff like that. Guessing, projecting, I don't mind being wrong about that. Like, the best sportscasters in the world will only be right 60% of the time or less. So I don't worry about that stuff. The stuff I'm talking about is I hate it when I'm wrong about facts. Like when I tell the world something that this is this, or this guy did this, or this equals this, or historically this happened here, and then later on finding out I was wrong. And it happens more times than I'm comfortable. I mean, I'm not comfortable with it even once, but it happens more times than I'm comfortable with. And number one, it's embarrassing, right? It's completely embarrassing when you realize you're wrong, and you've got to have people in the live chat. And I'm grateful for the people in our live chat who point out, actually, John, you said this guy was in this and he wasn't. He was in this other thing. Like, for example, we were recently talking about one of the Skarsgård brothers, and I mentioned that I loved him in The Northman when it was the other Skarsgård brother who was in The Northman, and I love that movie. I totally shouldn't have forgotten that. And here's the second thing that I hate about being wrong, is that when you're wrong, nobody knows about it and nobody cares. But when you do a show online and you being wrong is there and now a part of the permanent record, it's around and everybody knows about it and everybody wants to find out that you were wrong, right? So that's part of it too. And that also goes into the whole live part of it as well, is that, I'm sitting there, doing these shows, and we get into these conversations, and I'm trying to pull all this information off the top of my head a lot of the times. And when I'm wrong, it's there forever. And I hate it when I'm wrong, because not only because it's embarrassing, but because I hate misinformation. So I really hate it when I'm the source of the misinformation. So that really drives me crazy too. And I think the final thing I hate about my job, and this is true of anybody who does like social media, particularly like YouTube or TikTok or whatever, is the fact that I really am at the mercy of YouTube. I mean, it hasn't bitten me in the ass much or really too much over the years, but there have been times when like I've gotten a content strike, totally unjustified, and realizing, shit, if I get hit with another one, I could lose my entire channel. Like if at any day, if YouTube just decided to pull the plug on my channel, my company is done. I mean, I guess I could move it somewhere else, but it wouldn't be nearly as effective or nearly have the scale or scope. And knowing that I'm completely at the mercy, and you guys have seen this, like not just at the mercy of technology like YouTube, but even at the mercy of like internet. Because I can do my show and I can have everything right. I've done everything right. I've dotted every I, crossed every T, pushed every correct button. But if the internet decides to go out, I'm SOL, right? And so having to be at the mercy of things outside of your control is also another thing that kind of drives me crazy about my job. So there you have it, guys. There are a bunch of things that drive me insane about my job. Now, I still love my job. I'm very grateful to have my job. I'm very aware and cognizant of the fact of just how blessed I am to have my job and to have been able to have done it for as long as I have, as successfully as I have. But yeah, it comes with some things that drive you a little bit crazy too. Anyway, guys, that'll wrap it up for us for tonight. I'm going to shoot a bunch of video tomorrow at Comic-Con, so I'll probably put together a little video to show you some of the sights and sounds that Ann and I are seeing. I hope you guys found this at least a little bit insightful. That'll do it for me for now, and I'll talk to you next time.